Hi, I am Sarah Glaz, Emeritus Professor of Mathematics at UConn, University of Connecticut, and poet. For the last 11 years, I'm organizing the mathematical poetry reading at Bridges. Welcome to the Bridges 2021 virtual poetry reading that can be accessed at the web address listed here. I'm very pleased. It's a pleasure for me to present to you the over 30 exciting and diverse collection of videos that make up this reading. In addition to the videos, each reading poet has a link to a sample printable poem, which together is a small poetry anthology that adds to the various Bridges poetry anthology, both online and in print, that we publish through the years. I hope that you are going to enjoy this meeting as if we are all there in person. I'm going to start the reading by reading two of my own poems. My poetry is often inspired by mathematics and its history, and the two poems I'm going to read are about the two very known Greek mathematicians in antiquity, Euclid and Archimedes. The first poem, The Death of Euclid, appeared in my poetry collection, or two numbers, that was published in 2017 by Antrim House. Euclid lived circa 323 to 285 BCE in Alexandria, a Greek city colony situated in Egypt at the mouth of the Nile, and famous for many things, among others the museum, a legendary center of learning rivaling Plato's Academy in Athens. Euclid founded a school of mathematics at the museum. Very little is known about his life beyond the monumental achievement of writing the Elements, a book that not only taught geometry, but had profound impact on Western thought and set the foundation for mathematical standards of reasoning for all times. And now to the poem, The Death of Euclid. So great was Euclid's fame that he was known to the Greek as Ostechiosis, teacher of the elements. This is indeed Smith's History of Mathematics. And onto the barge, decked with flowers, we lifted him. Our arms dark and strong, his body shrunk in its shroud of warm roses. The Nile's sluggish brown flow, mist floating in front of us like the cloud of God. We lifted his eyes toward heaven, where he saw the next generation inherit. And we mourned, how we mourned, his fine-tuned mind, his irreplaceable jewel of thought. Not one of us came close in our search for truth to match his erudition. Not one of us came close. And the barge groaned under his almost weightless body once, as if in pain. Then clutched his mutilated heart to its own. Crocodiles circled silently, plucking at wilted flowers. And the procession started slowly, heavy with sighs, ghost deep, oars in the water and heaving, mud splashing, dipping and cutting a path. Upstream, we left on the shore, rooted, tangled in tears, our imaginations seeking relief in words of reverence. A few years after Euclid's death, a young genius from another Greek colony was sent to Alexandria to complete his mathematics education. His name was Archimedes. The second poem I'm going to read, Archimedes, is of a more recent vintage. It appeared in the winter 2020 issue of the Hudson Review. Archimedes lived circa 287 to 212 BCE. He was a Greek mathematician, physicist, and engineer. A leading scientist of classical antiquity, he is considered to be one of the greatest mathematicians of all times. His mathematical work anticipated calculus in both his results and original methods of proof. Archimedes is credited with designing innovative defensive devices to protect his native Syracuse, a Greek city situated in Sicily, from Roman invasion. He was killed by a Roman soldier at the end of the siege of Syracuse. And now to the poem, Archimedes. It is difficult to find a present for a man who has everything, and he has everything of value, his mathematical imagination. One day at the Agora, I met a friend who promised to make the introductions. She believed that in spite of his wisdom, he was missing something important. I guessed what it was when I saw the way she lowered her head to listen to her child. The way her eyes lit up when she caught a glimpse of her husband Pallium fluttering behind a column of the Temple of Apollo. She meant well. I reached 14 years of age and my father was anxious for me to be married. The clothes already spun by my mother, the dowry ready. But the gods have conspired to prevent our meeting. The Romans attacked and he was recruited to construct defensive war machines. After the Roman army lost the battle, his ingenious weapon inflicted a great slaughter among them. The protracted siege has begun. When will it end? There are so many rumors about his mathematical prowess. It is said that he invented a screw pump as a young boy in Alexandria. As a lad of 22, he determined the alloy of King Hieron's crown. How I laughed when my parents told me the story of his running stark naked through the streets of Syracuse, shouting, "Eureka, Eureka!" He designed a lever that can move the earth. He devised a way to measure the area of any circle, the surface area of every sphere, and even its volume. A cylinder circumscribed by a sphere? What a marvelous thing to behold. And grains of sand by the myriad, 1,000 units of the seventh order of numbers, fills the spherical shape of our universe, where stars and planets revolve in concerting circles around a still and centered earth. Foremost on my mind are those lovely attractions. I wish I could wed his mathematical learning, be the bride of postulate and proof, area and volume, sun reckoning and stars. Different from other men, he might accept me as a gift on these terms after the siege. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of the reading, and I hope very much to see you in person at Bridges 2022 reading next year.